Hello everyone. Welcome back to American Textbook Reading. I'm Ryan Sturritt. Today we're going to talk about the first Americans. It says American Textbook Reading, and it also says Social Studies 3 for World in Education. Just logo here. And now, as usual, let's start with the vocabulary. The first vocabulary word is native. What is a native? A native is a person who lived there when he was born. So, if you're a native, if you're born in Korea, you are a native of Korea. But if you move to China, for example, then you're not a native of China, but now you're just an immigrant. But I don't think that China would let Koreans go in. But Koreans are in the same country. They're in Asia. They're just small islands around Asia. But most recommendedly, I do not think that they will recognize each other, because each of the people in each country will have their own identities. Like some people in Korea are rude, some are nice, some quarrels between them, and same for France, Florida, America, or England, and many other ones. And now, let's move on to the next vocabulary word. The next vocabulary word is history. History. History is something that happens in a particular place. Now, sometimes people make a joke about it. Like they say, his story. So they just say his story. So they thought that men only make stories. So they just focused on men. But there is also famous women in history. Like Sacagawea. She was a famous American woman in history. So not all men could be the ones who made history. Women can also make it. Yes. And now, what about the word? What is the next vocabulary word? The next vocabulary word is buffalo. Buffalo. It's a buffalo. A buffalo is just like, it looks like a cow with two horns, but actually it's not a cow. Cows seem to be peaceful, but bison, the American bison, is not. It's just like some kind of symbol. But the buffalo is a symbol of Vietnam, where I'm here now. I moved from Korea to Vietnam. So the buffalo is the symbol of Vietnam, but sometimes the symbol of America. And now, let's move on with the next vocabulary word. It seems to me I taught so many nests. So let me switch. Now, what is the fourth vocabulary word? The fourth vocabulary word is what? The fourth vocabulary word is hide. Hide, just like the fur and the skin. Like I have skin underneath my shirt, and you think, oh, I have skin and my shirt is fur. No, no. You just look at the ropes around here. They're not really fur. They're just the fashion of sewing. Like one person sews and sews and sews and sews and sews and sews. She sews all the day, and then when she finished, it will not have any stripes there, or any it will not have any lines like this. It does not have any lines, but when it gets older and it touches water, it will have these lines, like mine. Now, let's talk about the 3 American tribes, the 3 Native American tribes. We have Pueblo, Powhatan, and Sioux. The first one is Sioux. Sioux means that they hunted buffaloes for their coverings, or just outside coverings called hide. For Powhatan, we say that they use canoes to travel. Means that have you ever heard of the 13 colonies? The 13 colonies were ruled by King George, the King of England. And also, that is Powhatan is how George Washington fought the battle. George Washington got on just like a canoe. He sailed canoes toward England, and he fought battle with England. A bloody war was there. And finally the war ended, and then his team went back. And now, what about Pueblo? Pueblo means that the people live in very important and special houses that are now national parks. And Pueblo is that people long time ago, the people that a long time ago lived in these houses. They're made of bricks that are even stronger than the bricks that they have in my house today. Look, these are just little hard and little soft bricks. Have you ever pushed or lifted a brick? It's very heavy, but a very, very, very crunchy cookie would taste better. And now we finished about the 3 tribes. Let's talk about the American heroine. Who is American heroine? I mean a Native American heroine. She is called Sacagawea. Sacagawea was a social woman. Look again, a social woman is another tribe. She was born from the Indian. She was the daughter from the Indians' war's chief. So then her house got on fire, and then she was taken prisoner by the Powhatan Indians. After that, they fought a war, and then the other team wins, and then their prize was Sacagawea. And also, she became many wives. And now, do you want to talk more about the history of Sacagawea. She was the leader of the Lewis and Clark expedition. Like, do you know Thomas Jefferson? He bought a big city in France called Louisiana. And he says that he bought Louisiana for 105,000 million dollars. Not 1,005 million cents. That will be a very particular number of money. It will just cost a few dollars because 1 cent is $100. So as 100,000, then it will be for at least $20,000. And now, let's move on with the questions. We'll only do true and false. We'll do the true and false questions. It means that it is yes and no questions. We could say that, but it will be the true and false questions, not the yes and no question. No. Not the yes and no questions. And now, let's do the first question of our yes and no questions, or our true and false questions. I said that you shouldn't say yes and no, but you say true and false. And now, for the first one, you will see like now let's take a short break and we'll do the speaking section. So now don't go away. Now I came back with my penknife. I came back with my penknife, and now let's do the reading section. For the first question, for the first part of the reading section, it will be the part about the introduction. It will be the introduction. But there will be more about Native Americans in the past and in the future and in the present. Futures like I will means that I will be a firefighter in the future. So that's in the future. So it means that it is your wish. It's your wish to become a firefighter. Or it's my wish to become a teacher. Because I like to teach a lot of scratchable and very complicated people. And now let's begin with the reading passage. America's history started as Native Americans. Native Americans lived by using natural resources. They would use natural resources from the land. And there were also many and many and many and many and many and many. There were lots of important Native Americans that will blow up your mind or that will explode your brain and cut your brain in half. And now, Pueblo people lived, okay? They lived by building very special houses that are made of a very, very, very tough kind of brick. And that kind of brick is called adobe. Powhatan people were the people who just traveled by canoes, and they made the canoes by bark. And now, did you know that Sioux people, not Sioux that you're talking about, but Sioux people, it's amazing about Sioux people because Sioux people were the people who traveled a very long time. They traveled to the south, to the north, to the south, to the north. But they had to travel southeast, north, southeast, north, southeast, north. So they followed the bison. Just like the bison from here, they went, this is south, they went to the east, they went to the north. So now, then when they went back in another direction. They went north, west, and south. So maybe they were just going in a circle. Like south, east, north, south, east, north, south, east, north, and then they went north, west, south. So they went different directions, kind of in a circle. And now, the next people to go to America were the English settlers. They had a complex relationship with the Native Americans, and they traded goods to the Native Americans. And they also sometimes have quarrels between them. And now, the last people to go to America were from all over the world, from Turkey to Canada, to England, to Iceland, to Vietnam, to China, to Russia, to Turkey, and blah, 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 or 3 dots at the end. 1, 2, 3. I'm scratching my penknife. And now, let's do a few more questions before we wrap this lesson up. So, the first question. Sioux people hunted buffaloes. True or false? True. Powhatan people traveled by using trucks. True or false? False. Pueblo people lived in the house in the present. True or false? False. And now, did you know that the buffalo was a very interesting and spectacular and also expensive animal? True or false? It's false. It's expensive. No buffaloes are expensive. They just catch them because Sioux people just fire a shot at the buffalo. but they don't have to pay money to the settler and then get the buffalo back home. And then they use their knife and cut it in half. And now, we've done all the 3 questions of our day with Brian Stewart. And now, if you like this video, make sure to like and subscribe me more at American Textbook Reading, Science and Social Studies from 1 to 4, 4 I'm still putting up here, and Science and Social Studies from 1 to 4, as I said, and also write my name and your favorite lesson. And you can see all my amazing videos from Vietnam and in Korea. And so now, goodbye.